Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome to a new video. So today I wanted to make a video exploring the Arceuus Mind Altar Teleport and its potential for runecrafting both Mind Tiaras and Mind Runes. So the first thing I decided to test was making Mind Tiaras. Now this is quite an expensive runecrafting method, but I figured that it would probably be very high XP per hour. I was under the impression that it would probably be upwards of like 80k XP per hour or something like that. I had high hopes for it being a extremely expensive, not very viable method, but like the highest XP per hour potential, which you see in a few other skills such as construction with some of the really expensive methods and a few other skills as well. It would have been interesting if this was a high XP per hour and high cost runecrafting methods, and I bought up a good few thousand of these mind talismans just to give it a shot. And it's pretty straightforward in terms of the method. You just use a rune pouch to store the runes. It uses 1 law rune and 2 mind runes for the teleport, only 28 magic requirement for that, and then you need to have the 60% favor for the Arceuus house also to use the spellbook. So you just teleport to the altar, craft the tiaras, and I was banking at crafting guilds since I have the teleport for that. And if you don't have that teleport, then banking at castle wars would be pretty much the same speed, just a little bit more costly because of the dual rings. So you craft 13 of them per inventory, and each one gives 27.5 XP each. And I think they cost me somewhere around 300 GP per talisman, though I can't remember exactly what I bought them for. It might have been a little bit lower than that, but they take a long time to buy unless you're buying for a really high price. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Even if it wasn't extremely expensive, the volume of these items in game is so low because the only monsters that drop them one at a time, unnoted, and are very low level monsters, and most people don't bother to pick up the talismans. So I didn't do this method for very long because it became clear pretty quickly that it wasn't a very good runecrafting method, but I measured the time it takes per lap, and it seems like a perfect tick lap is around 35 ticks. Including banking and all that, so 35 ticks per lap and 27.5 XP for 13 tiaras that you craft. So that works out to be about 60k XP per hour, which is fairly high for runecrafting, but considering the cost and the fact that lavas are as fast, if not faster than that, it's not really that good to do, because it's just not really viable due to the cost and the demand and the supply of the items. But it was worth a try anyways. It was fun. I thought it would be a little bit higher, but it was worth a try to explore it, and now I know that making mind tiaras is not a reasonable runecrafting method by any means, and lavas are definitely superior in every way possible. So pretty much debunked there as far as it being worth it, but something that's more interesting and worth exploring is just crafting mind runes. Very low runecrafting requirement to craft mind runes, just level 2. But you can craft them quite fast, and from what I could tell, the lap time was basically exactly the same as doing the tiaras, which is interesting, because you're just doing 2 crafts, but it does take some time to do the crafts themselves. So it works out to be basically the same amount of time per lap, about 35 ticks. And at this rate, doing just the runes themselves, it was about 40k XP per hour. And you do have to do a run through the abyss every like 10 or 11 laps, because since you're on the Arceuus book, you can't use NPC contact to repair, so that does drop down the XP per hour a little bit. Probably including that, it's more like 38k XP per hour if you're banking fairly quickly and just using 2 pouches, which is probably the best thing to do because the laps are so short, similar deal to lavas. So yeah, that's actually not too bad of a rate, considering that from probably around 40-ish onwards, you're definitely profiting from doing this. Not profiting a huge amount, but not losing any money, whereas if you're doing fire runes or if you're doing lava runes, you'd be losing a little bit of money. I definitely say it's better to do this than to do fire runes, because it's pretty similar XP per hour to fire runes, and you're making a little bit of money. Once you get to like 3 times, then you're probably about break even, which is at 28 RC, and 4 times you're definitely profiting at 42. And they do get up to 8 times at level 98, and I worked that out to be roughly 200k profit per hour if you're doing 8 times mind runes, which is pretty small amount. It's still less profit than even soul runes, but it's comparable XP per hour, I guess, to like blood runes, and you can get that XP per hour at pretty low levels. I mean, I guess you do need 75 to get the giant pouch, but you could be using just your 2 largest pouches, so the large and the medium, and the XP per hour wouldn't be a huge amount slower. I imagine you could still get like low to mid 30s, and be bringing in a little bit of profit. So for lower level runecrafters, this might actually not be a terrible method. It's definitely not the most optimal method, but it's something worth considering if it looks enjoyable to you, to try doing it for a few levels and see how you like it. It's most definitely faster than any Abyss runecrafting. Yeah, it's not a terrible method, but it's not really extremely efficient by any means, and it's definitely not the best thing to do at any level. But with low-level runecrafting, it might be something that you would consider doing for a little while. But yeah, that's about all I had for the video today, guys. Just wanted to explore this and figured I'd turn it into a video. So if any of you guys are curious about using this to do runecrafting, here's your answer, and here's what I've discovered with it. It's not efficient, but it's something that was worth trying and it was fun to explore. And the Mind Altar is a pretty interesting looking place as well. I hardly spent any time there, but it is pretty cool looking. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and I will see you guys pretty soon with more videos.